Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Sienna here with a brand new video. Today's pick a card reading is going to be your predictions for the rest of May 2025. It is May 3rd as I'm recording and doing this today. But let's see what Spirit wants you to know for the rest of the month ahead. Things to look out for, any advice, anything like that. And I think we'll do our classic, just like with our last month's April predictions video, our classic career, relationships, and personal growth. And I think that's what our categories for the reading today will be. So first we have group 1 with what I'm going to call our Celtic mushroom. Oh, and there we go. Looks like a bruise. It's just ash from my candle. Group 1 with our Celtic mushroom, our white howlite bracelet, courtesy of Otter Spirit. All of these bracelets are from Otter Spirit. Huge thank you to them for supporting my channel. Links are in the description if you want to get one of these for yourself. They have new monthly collections every 30 days. There's always something new and exciting. Affiliate link, mind you. So I do make a little bit of money if you use the link that I put in the description, but there is a discount code. So you save a little money, I make a little money, you get nice jewelry, my channel grows. Anyway, we're gonna end our sponsor segment there. So Celtic mushroom, white howlite bracelet, or Bob's Burgers tarot, that's group 1. Group 2, we have our melting mushroom, our multicolor morganite bracelet, and the rose tarot. And for group 3, we have our sky blue jade, our rainbow mushrooms, and the One World tarot. So find which deck, which mushroom, which bracelet, whatever jumps out at you and really draws your attention. And I'll meet you at the timestamp that will be in the description and in a pinned comment for your pile, okay? All right, I think we're ready to begin. So, group 1, hello, welcome. If you were drawn to the Celtic mushroom, the white howlite bracelet, or the Bob's Burgers tarot, or just the fact that it was group number 1, because everyone has different ways of picking their piles, this is going to be your reading. I'm going to go set this mushroom aside over here. Okay. So, May 2025 predictions for the rest of the month. Oh my, these are stuck in the box. What's going on? There we go. For the rest of the month for group 1, we're actually going to start by getting some oracle messages from Yasmin Boland's Moonology Oracle deck. Not sponsored, I just really, really like this deck. And you know what? Let's start with some career messages. So Spirit, what does group 1 need to know about their career, their work situation, their finances, for May 2025 for the rest of this month? These shuffle so nicely. They're just slippery enough that I can keep them in my hand with relative control, and they go back together when I do that bridge shuffle. They don't just fall apart everywhere. Okay. Anyway. Spirit, what's group 1's career oracle message for their career, their working situation, their finances? What do you want them to know? Be bold and make the first move. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just set that. You know what? We'll just put it here. I think we'll do this just in sections. All right. So be bold and make the first move. Maybe there's something you need to apply for, or, even I'm getting this, I don't want this to sound like boomer advice, okay? But something that I am seeing is sending a resume and applying to somewhere that isn't advertising that they need anyone yet. Be bold and make the first move. It's like you get your resume and your name out to this company or this group, and even if they don't need you right yet, they'll have your info on file just in case. I'm getting something like that. There's also something about putting oneself out there. So maybe if you own a business or you're running a business or something, you're struggling. I'm getting something like advertising, like being bold and getting your name out there. Yeah, for advertising, for marketing, and maybe this is something that you're not comfortable with. Perhaps it's very new to you, the fact that you have your own business, and maybe, yeah, you don't know much about marketing and you're not sure how to feel about you promoting yourself. A lot of people are not comfortable doing that, advocating for themselves and promoting themselves. Okay, well, we're going to keep Bob, King of Cups. He fell out. We're going to keep that. There's this, just with the energies and stuff that I'm feeling, plus the art on this card, it just seems like there's this like empty feeling that you've been dealing with right now. And it's like, oh, like nothing's happening. Like you feel like you've done what you could do, and you're like, I don't know, I'm out of ideas. I love this thing, I care about this thing, but I'm running out of motivation here. But you're keeping it sort of, I think, to yourself. You haven't really reached out and like asked for help necessarily, or advice, or talked to someone about how you're feeling regarding your work. Maybe that first move for some of you is going to whoever, is there to help you and that you can trust, and being like, hey, this is how I'm feeling lately about my business. This is how I'm feeling lately about my work or about my position here. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while, and I think it's time to finally say something. So for some of you, that may be the first move. Let's see what else we get for tarot messages for group ones: work, career, finances. The Star. Okay, maybe when you do, for those of you with the ask for help message, for whom that resonates, you do finally go to someone and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that you were struggling with this. Like I had no idea that this job, required an extra person, or I didn't know that you already had so many other things going on. Sorry, what can I do to help you succeed in this role? Right? So there's some kind of change or arrangement being made so that you can work to like your best potential, to excel at finally what you're doing instead of struggling. Yeah, and then with that being bold and making the first move, maybe instead, like with the applying to somewhere that's not advertising yet, they see what your skills are, they see your resume, and they're like, oh dang, well, you know what, if we do have an opening, we're going to take her, or we're going to take him. We're going to keep this person in mind. You'd really excel at this particular role, or this whatever it is that has to do with your work. All right, Page of Pentacles. For finances, I'm seeing I'm getting the word small contribution. Oh, okay. It is time to rearrange these. Hang on, guys. I also had Three of Swords come falling out, so maybe there's something that you were hoping to get paid or compensated really well for, and with it being a page, pages are generally smaller in value, I'm going to say, like numerical value when it comes to the court cards. It may be not as much as you were hoping for or expecting. You may have to deal with a little bit of disappointment over that, but it doesn't feel like it's complete devastation. Like there's still a feeling of hope here. So how does group one deal with this disappointment surrounding not being given, I was going to say not being given what they felt they were owed. There's Eight of Wands, and it's just, I get this feeling of just keep moving, keep working on other things. Because there's this energy of like, we'll come back to this. We'll come back to this. So what else should they do to resolve like this particular situation? There's keep working. We'll come back to this. Hangman. A change in perspective. And it could, for some of you, it could just be that whatever you were fully owed, you don't get it all at once. Maybe you have to get it in a couple of installments, and that feels really disappointing because you were expecting a large sum up front. And then for some of you, your perspective on it kind of changes. You're like, you know what? At first, if you're wondering, like, I didn't get as big a bonus or, as big a cut, or what is the word I'm looking for? Commission. Yeah, I guess a cut or whatever. Oh, my work must not have been very good. And it's not like your work wasn't very good. Maybe the change in your perspective here is like, what, my work was really good, but I offered my time and sold my time and labor to somebody who couldn't afford to value it properly, or somebody who just couldn't afford to compensate it fully. And then maybe you're thinking about contracts that you take in the future and the work that you put in and give to companies versus what they promised to give back to you. You're realizing that it wasn't like you had done anything wrong to deserve not getting what you wanted fully here. I'm getting that, from Finding Nemo, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim. Except it's like, just keep trying, just keep working, just keep going, doing. And then perhaps maybe in the future, you'll have a better understanding of why something didn't quite work out the way that you thought it would. But again, it doesn't feel like it's devastating. It doesn't feel like it's the difference between feast and famine. And, it's not like it's something that pushes you into bankruptcy or anything like that. It feels like a minor disappointment that you come to understand later, or you get the rest of what you were owed later. Okay, what else do we have for career finance messages for group 1? Okay, interesting. 10 of Wands and 10 of Cups in the Bob's Burgers Tarot, I think, have the meanings kind of backwards. But I'm going to trust Spirit here and go with what I'm being told to share with you, okay? So generally in the Rider-Waite and a lot of other tarot decks, 10 of Wands is that card of burden and carrying too much and doing too much, and it's just, you can't do it anymore because it's too much. When you're carrying something heavy and your muscles get to the point where they literally physically cannot hold on anymore, and they just release, and you accidentally drop the thing even though you didn't mean to, and it was kind of out of your control because your muscles were tired, right? The warning is not to do too much, because that 9 of Wands is that one step before the burden. So we're being careful not to do too much. Oh, you know what? Shit, dude, this makes way more sense. Okay, Spirit's telling me not to do too many explanations at a time, so I'll finish this one. Don't do too much. Don't give too much of yourself to somebody who may not appreciate it. Okay. Sorry, I'm very passionate about this message. Excuse me. And then 10 of Wands in the Bob's Burgers deck. This is like happy family, being together, your community, finding your people. Make sure that, okay. Always do your best, the best that you can, and the best that you can is going to be different every day, right? Make sure you're doing good work. Do your best to do good work, but you don't have to give your entire self, your heart and soul, your blood, sweat, and tears, if it doesn't feel right for you to do it. Still do what needs to be done and meets the requirements and is good enough to be, depends on what you do for work, right? Because some things you really can't, I'm not telling you to half-ass necessarily, but like there's some things, some jobs where you have to always be at 100% best every day because, it affects somebody's life or health or whatever. You need to adjust this to suit your situation. But, maybe for some jobs, like maybe it's an office job or it's a, something where they measure your performance based on what you put out, and still do good work, but yeah, just don't give your entire self if you know it's not necessarily going to be appreciated. So some of you, the warning here is, yeah, like don't give your blood, sweat, and tears, because you may not get back right away what you were owed for that effort you put in, because either it wasn't noticed, wasn't appreciated, or it wasn't in the budget to pay, and that's not your fault. That's an issue on their end. Right? So don't take that personally if that is what ends up happening. It might change your perspective for some of you. It might change your perspective of the company that you work for. And maybe it is, you know, let's just say, this is not going to be for everyone, but let's just say for some of you, you had this really like sudden, sharp deadline. And this was like a 2-person task, but they only had the budget to hire 1 person to do the task. So here you are working until you're feeling drained and you're feeling like, oh my God, I don't know, what to do here. It's something that you are amazing at and brilliant at and should absolutely be recognized for. But then the company's like, oh, well, you know what? The quality is just not quite what we're looking for. And the reason for it is not because you did bad work, but it's because you're 1 person doing the job of 2, which is really not always possible, especially when you're given a timeline in which to do it, right? Or they find some way, oh, well, you know what? There was an error here and an error here. So sorry, you're not going to get that holiday bonus. I mean, I'm doing this in May, so holiday bonus, I don't know. It could be whenever you're watching this, but sorry, we actually can't give you that raise that we promised because you didn't meet our expectations on this task. I don't know why I'm doing that voice, but it's an insufferable voice. But people who act like this at jobs and try and gaslight you into accepting less than what you deserve, they're insufferable too, so it fits. That changes your perspective on, okay, well, you know what? I'm not making this company my identity. I'm not living to work. Now I'm working to live. Or like, you know what? I'll do the best I can, but I'm not giving you the best of me. Maybe this is something that pushes you into like another career direction, hence the be bold and make the first move. Maybe that's what pushes you to, you know what? I'm going to go apply at this competitor because I hear they pay better. Or, you know what? I don't want to be here. Maybe I'll be appreciated elsewhere. So you put out your application even though they're not really advertising yet. There's something that causes you to just really think about, is this what I want to keep doing? Is this where I want to keep channeling my energy? Is this who I want to keep giving my energy, my time, my effort? Is this who I want to keep giving this to? And you'll figure this out. You will know in your heart, in your gut, yes, it is time to move on. Or no, you know what? It's time to take a step back and either maybe you can challenge excuse me. Well, you know what? I was doing the work of 2 people on a tight deadline. If you wanted better results, and maybe say this in a way that won't get you fired, but basically if you wanted better results, like you should have had 2 people. And maybe you have asked for help already and were denied, or maybe you didn't. But there's this like, if you want me to give you what you're expecting, I need help. I need the tools to be able to succeed. And that maybe that's the bold move that you need to take, is asking for that help. Anyway, that's what I have for your career messages. I'm going to put these back into the pile. And we're going to move on to our love and relationship messages. I think I'll keep the oracle card there. We'll pull another oracle card for your love and relationships group 1. So, love, relationships, and when I say love and relationships, it's whatever spirit wants to talk to you about, whatever kind of relationship information that's most important to you. So for some of you, this could be for a romantic relationship. Some of you, it could just be like, the messages could be for your platonic relationships or your family relationships. I've had it where doing these readings, we set the intention to do relationship reading and it came up being like the relationship you have with yourself. But let's see. We'll see what comes up. We'll see what comes up. Relationships for group 1. Spirit. What do they need to know? What do you want them to know about their relationships for the month of May? The end of a tough cycle approaches. And we're going to go and keep that there. So maybe you were having like a falling out or something with, you know, it could have been a partner, a spouse or friend, whatever. Somebody that is dear to you, clearly. And the end of that tough time is approaching. So maybe you're able to work things out or patch things up or, you know, be able to just move on this month. But let's see, what are the messages, the tarot messages that group 1, I get the feeling I've been calling you guys group 2, and I don't know if I actually have or if that's just my brain being silly. But if I have, I apologize. Spirit knows that we mean group 1. Okay, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, there's this like self-sufficiency, this realizing that you have such a rich, and I get that word, it's rich, and I know it's Pentacles, but it's like energetically and spiritually, you have a rich inner life. You have so many dimensions to you. You have so many qualities that just make you so unique and make your contributions to this world, you know, not necessarily just like your work contributions, but all the ways in which that you contribute to this world. Like it just makes it so much more, I don't know, special. There's just something so special about you. And you're realizing that you have all of this just as you are, with or without these people. End of a tough cycle. So some of you are actually leaving behind a unhealthy, or I was going to say a toxic, but an unhealthy or a toxic friend group situation. I'm really picking that up, especially with the like group, because it's just like, oh, I don't need these people. Turns out I had the security that I wanted and needed just on my own. Or like, wow, you know what? I actually don't miss these people. Or I realized like, I'm actually quite happy on my own. I'd rather be on my own than be with these people that are not really that good for me. Either way, whatever you choose, you know how this is going to resonate for you. For some of you, it could be, wow, you know what? I didn't need a romantic partner after all. It's better to be single and on my own than to be with somebody who's mistreating me or to be with somebody who's just not right for me. Yeah, you're shedding away. I see the image of a snake shedding its skin. So you're shedding away that which you don't need it anymore. It's energy that you just don't need. And the other Hermit, some introspection, some time alone, but it doesn't feel sad or lonely. The energy here actually feels quite peaceful and relaxed. Look at, like we got Mr. Frond here on the Hermit card. He seems, he's not like smiling. It's not, I don't think it's because he's like sad being by himself. It's because he's focused, right? He's working on his knitting or his whatever he's doing there. And he's just very focused. It seems like perhaps he'll be very focused on yourself and maybe getting to know yourself better and just spending some time in the peace and quiet to do your hobbies, to do whatever it is that you've been wanting to do that you found difficult or you thought you were going to be judged for with, you know, these people that you'd left behind. Okay, what else? For group 1 and their relationships. Oh yeah, there we go. There's our 10 of Cups. You remember when I mentioned that earlier with the last section, how 10 of Wands, 10 of Cups were kind of, I think the meanings were kind of reversed here. Well, interestingly, so 10 of Cups, you were spending time with a community of people who did not actually fill your cup. In fact, they drained you. You're leaving that behind. Is this always going to be easy? No. You know, and it's okay to feel sad about it, even though you know in your heart, like, you know, this really wasn't right. These weren't my people. You can still feel sad about that. We always grieve the, you know, even, you know, you can have good times and good memories with people that aren't necessarily good for you. And you can grieve those happy times. You can grieve the illusion of, this is what I thought our friendship dynamic was. And then you learn the truth. Or you can grieve, you know, but this is what I wanted. That's okay. Give yourself time to sort through I'm hearing sort through the sadness. Give yourself time to sort through those feelings. And Spirit's like, don't worry. You might be on your own for a little bit, but you're not going to stay lonely, because there's an offer. Knight of Cups, it's an offer. The cups are all about the emotions, your heart, and like your emotional heart, an offer for it's okay. There will be new friendships and new relationships to come. There will be new opportunities for you to be with your people, to have the right community of people around you. Sometimes, and you know what? Actually, my partner said this to me in the past when I was dealing with a similar thing. He said to me, you know what, Sienna, it's hard to find the friends that are right for you when you're still stuck with the wrong people. He was saying, like, it's really hard to move on to something new when you still have this baggage basically from the past following you. Okay, Knight of Swords. I'm going to clarify our Knight of Swords. This is giving me a few different feelings. Ace of Swords. Oh, yeah. Okay, so once you've realized, okay, this particular connection, and it, like I said earlier, it could be that you're leaving a romantic connection. If that's not what resonates with you and you're in a really good relationship, don't worry. This is not me saying, oh, dump them. But it could just be that there's like somebody else around you, right? Or you're like, oh, what? My friendships are fine. Well, maybe it's a colleague that is really draining on you, and maybe you just need to stay away from them or spend less time around them, or, your mileage is going to vary here. But what I'm getting, Knight of Swords and Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords, you learn the truth about this connection. Oh, they really aren't my friends. And the strongest, like, energy, analogy, whatever, like, images that Spirit is showing me, it has to do with friend groups. So, yeah, it's like, oh, maybe some of you learn, like, oh, they really weren't my friends. Maybe you learn that they were talking shit behind your back or something. Or you accidentally come across a screenshot of a message or something about you, or you learn, oh, they had a whole ass group chat where they make their plans to hang out and they didn't include me. Oh, that's awesome. Like, great. Or whatever this truth is, it makes you realize your suspicions are confirmed. Like, oh yeah, no, I should not have been around these people. I've been wasting my time. Knight of Swords is like, well, now you know the truth. So now go forward. I'm going to give you this warning though. Be careful how you go about separating, because Knight of Swords, sometimes I get that card to be like shouting, fighting, like verbal altercations or arguments, things like that. Perhaps be careful to avoid that kind of like a blow up. If you decide in whatever way that you do to, remove yourself from these people or from their energy. But it's also Spirit saying, like, go forth and move towards what's going to be right for you. Okay. I was going to say, Spirit, can you give us some positive news about relationships? And Spirit's like, this is positive news. Oh, here's something. Here's an image that Spirit's giving me. This is why this is positive news, even if it might not sound like it. With realizing some people around you are not who you thought and you're leaving them behind. Spirit's like, okay, imagine you come home, or lately you've noticed, wow, my house smells really, really bad lately. And it's like progressively getting worse and worse over a certain period of time. You've cleaned everything. You've cleaned the fridge. You've taken out the garbage. You've taken out your compost. You've washed the floors. You've scrubbed everything. You've opened the windows to air it out. You've done everything, right, quotes. You've done everything you could to make this smell go away. And It doesn't, and it gets worse and it gets worse. Well, one day you decide, this is just overbearing. I just cannot deal with this. So you don't just abandon the house, but you go outside, you know, maybe you take a couple of your things, you go outside, you decide to go for a walk. And that's the moment when your house burns down because that horrible smell was an electrical fire in the wall. Okay, that's pretty extreme, but that's the energy that I'm feeling. Is you've been feeling for a while in your social groups like something is not right, something is just kind of smells rotten here. And you know, maybe you've done everything you could. You've tried people pleasing, you've tried masking, you've tried being more, I don't know, more or less of yourself, and nothing was working to please these people, and you're still feeling like something was off, something was wrong. And then you decide, you know what, I'm going to take some time away from these people. I've learned that they're not my true friends. I'm going to take some time away. And then you realize then just how toxic they were, or just how incompatible, because not all people are toxic people. Sometimes we're just incompatible, right? So that's why the house burning down analogy you did, you know, you thought it was you, and it turned out it was just a fire in the walls. And it happens after you walk away so that you're not hurt, you're not caught up in the blowout, right? Okay. Let's get one more word, some encouragement, some advice or something regarding group 1's relationships for the month of May. And it's still good news, because the good news is, even though that house burned down, or even though, you know, you had to leave that friend group or whatever, the good news is you didn't end up getting hurt any worse than what you already dealt with. You left behind something that just wasn't going to work out anyway. And it's going to point you towards what is going to work out. Obstacles are being removed from your path. Okay, and this is okay. 3 of Swords. Some people see the 3 of Swords and they get upset because they're like, oh no, my heart's going to be broken. Everything's going to suck. Well, you know what? Sometimes, even when we kind of had this message with like the work thing too, when something at work wasn't working, whatever, and you kind of grieved that, oh, this is, you know, I didn't get what I wanted, or you know, anyway. The Spirit's saying here with 3 of Swords, feel sad whenever you feel sad, you know, cry about it if you got to cry about it, or feel mad if you got to feel mad about it. Write about it in your journals, talk to a therapist, talk to a trusted friend or a family member, talk to someone to get these feelings out. You don't need to keep them bottled up. You do have to express your disappointment, your sadness. And it could be that you're expressing this to the people you're leaving behind. I'm going to just move these. Yeah, okay, I don't know if those look better or worse now that I moved them, but whatever, it's fine. But yeah, maybe you're expressing, you know what, when you guys do this to me, it makes me feel like this. I don't want to be around you if this is what you think of me. Hey, I heard that this is what you guys were saying, or, you know, hey, I have proof that this is what's been going on, or whatever, right? And it really hurts me, and I just don't think I should stick around. I think I need to leave, or I think I need to separate. I think it's time that we go our separate ways. They might be sad about it too, because it depends. Sometimes people don't realize that they've been hurting you. And maybe it's like, oh, well, I didn't know you felt that way. And maybe they need time to think about it too. And, you know, you take time apart. But sometimes people get upset when you finally put up a boundary because they can't take advantage of you anymore. So I think you're going to know in your heart, you know, if these people or this person, this connection that you're leaving behind, if they're upset over it, you're going to know in your heart why. And if they want you back, they will do the work that they need to do in order to make things right. But it's up to you to ultimately decide if you want to be around this dynamic or not. And yeah, just Spirit reiterating, if you're sad, it's okay to be sad about it. It's temporary. The sadness will dissipate. Look it. I just pulled 3 of Cups. It's okay. You will find the right people, and that will help heal your heart. it will help you. Look, there's, again, with that opportunity from Spirit, I will put something on your path that will be right. You just need to walk away from what's not working. And let's go back to the house burning down example, It's like, oh, yep, I'm really glad that I left before this blew up. Or, I'm really glad I ended up leaving when I did, and I didn't get quite as hurt as I could have, or wasn't quite as affected as I could have been. And then maybe the offer is like, your insurance or whatever is like, here's what we can do to help, or like, here's some alternative housing, or, whatever. You don't have that crappy place that obviously wasn't good enough to be in if it burned down from an electrical fire, but it's going to point you towards where you should be and where it will be safer for you. Okay. I hope that made sense. We're going to put these back, and we're going to work on our personal growth. Now, there is already a lot of personal growth. We see this with the career and the relationship messages of standing up for yourself and not staying where you're not treated well, or not staying where you're not feeling valued. But let's just get one more message, oracle message, for the personal and the spiritual growth. Let's look at this like maybe, not maybe, Spirit's saying it will. The messages from the last two categories will tie into the spiritual growth. Everything that's happening in the month of May, how is this going to affect your spiritual growth? How is it going to help you to grow? That's what we'll do. How will this help you to grow? In which ways are you going to grow when it comes to your personal and spiritual development? Step out of your comfort zone. Yeah, you know what? These all sort of seem to go together. You step out of your comfort zone to be bold and make that first move with your work. You step out of your comfort zone when it comes to the end of the tough cycle with your relationships by, putting the boundaries and standing up for yourself or moving on. That's like a huge theme for your personal growth for May, is stepping out of your comfort zone and watching what happens, seeing the changes. I'm hearing something about seeing the magic, watching the magic happen. Let's get some tarot messages for group 1. Their personal and spiritual growth. What else do they need to know about their personal and spiritual growth? Okay, yep. The Empress, bigger and better things are on the way. Right now, you're at a point where you can't really see it yet. And I say this a lot with the Empress card. Often this card depicts a pregnant mom. And she doesn't have a baby in her arms, right? The baby is still growing in her belly. So she can't see the baby, but she knows it's going to be there. This is Spirit saying, these promises, I'm getting like these beautiful promises, these rewards that I have for you, they're growing, they're on their way. You just, maybe it's not in your arms yet, but it is coming. And it's like one of those things that once it starts coming to you, it will not stop. It will get to its destination. It will get to you. The Moon. Ooh, I love this card. Aunt Gail is one of my favorite characters in the whole show. She's hilarious. But the Moon. So your gut feelings are going to be stronger because it's actually your confidence in yourself. You already had a strong intuition. You already were really good at picking up the energies of people, situations. You already were really good at getting those inklings, but I think maybe you struggled with believing them, or like just honoring them as they are, and keeping them in mind. Sometimes we get a gut feeling about something and it makes us uncomfortable, so we just ignore it and deny it. And then something happens and you're like, oh, you know what? I did actually know that. I shouldn't have denied it. That made things harder for me, or whatever. You're becoming much more, I want to say you're becoming much more psychic, but here's the thing, you're already quite psychic. So I think you're becoming more aware of what your abilities are spiritually, and you're becoming more aware of just how effective your intuition is. Your subconscious is going to be purging some, I'm going to say, just difficult memories and just emotional baggage. So just be aware if you have strange dreams at night, or dreams about just tough memories, or something like that. It's just your subconscious purging pain. It's pain that you don't need to carry anymore, because it actually no longer hurts you in the present. It's something your body's holding on to and your subconscious is holding on to, because our brains are wired to keep us alive, you know, not necessarily to keep us always happy. So just be aware. It's a good thing though. There's a feeling of gratitude that I actually pick up from this. And your dreams may actually help show you, maybe you need to do a little bit of shadow work, journaling, or working with a therapist, or somebody that you can trust who is able to help you in this way. Your dreams might show you, oh yeah, you know what, I dreamt about this, and you know, it reminded me of this, and maybe I just need to process this thing from my past. And you know, you're able to process it and let it go. So there's that also with the moon. So what else for spiritual growth? 6 of Swords. I love the 6 of Swords, because it's all about going from chaos to calm. You're going from, this is good. It's sometimes not a comfortable transition, but it's good because you're going from being not where you want to be to where you want to be, or going from where it's not safe, and safe, that could be physically, it could just be energetically, or, you know, I'm just going to say that word loosely, safe, to be to where it is safe for you to be, if I made any sense there. It basically means you're getting through it and you're becoming much more resilient. So the next time in life, if you face a disappointment, like at work, they didn't appreciate something that you did, or the effort you put in, or they didn't understand you, or, you know, in your relationships, somebody mistreated you, or they, again, didn't understand you. You found you really couldn't relate to this group of people or these connections. Like, the next time that kind of thing comes up in your life, you're going to be like, you know what? Because I dealt with everything from, you know, what we're talking about in this reading, you know, I've been through that. I'm prepared now to go through this. And, because life is like that, right? Sometimes we experience things multiple times, and you know, the next time maybe it gets a little bit easier than the last, or it hurts a little bit less than the last time. You deal with a crappy person, and maybe the first time around you're just absolutely shaken and heartbroken by it, and then the next time you deal with a crappy person, you're like, oh, you know what, it's them, it's not me, whatever. Then the next time you're like not even bothered by it. You're like, well, you know what, Spirit, please take care of that person and heal the hurt in their heart that causes them to treat me like this, right? You get stronger every day, and you get stronger every time you go through something, and 6 of Swords is telling you that you're getting stronger. You're getting closer to being where it's good for you to be. Ace of Cups. There's so much, again, with the purging of the pain stored in your memories, in your body, in your wherever. Because I know, like, the brain stores memories, the body stores memories, and the cells store memories, and perhaps our energetic field stores memories or stores something. That's being released, and it's allowing fresh energy. I'm getting the image of just seeing, excuse me, with this Ace of Cups. Have you ever, I've done this before, where I had a dirty glass in the sink, and it had, let's say, I can't remember what it was. It had a little bit of like chocolate milk or something in the bottom, and I wanted to rinse it out before I, went and put it in the dishwasher. And so I ran the water and let it fill the glass, and, it starts off with the brown because it's got the little bit of the chocolate milk left. And then as the clean water comes in and the glass overflows and the dirty water sort of runs out, the water inside the cup goes from like brown to very, very light beige to clear again. That may have been a little bit complicated or whatever. My explanation, sometimes it's hard for me to verbalize what I see into words that make sense, but basically there's this like healing flow of energy. Let's say that's like the clean water from the tap that's running in, and it's clearing out the stuff that your subconscious wants to help you to purge. And then all of a sudden, like, you're not full of that old energy anymore, that dirty, sticky chocolate milk from the night before, you know? You're a clean and clear channel again. Your energy is clear, your path is clear. You don't have that old stuff from the past weighing you down and making it difficult for you to move forward and move on to better things in life. Ace of Cups is also all about joy and new emotional interests and new emotional ideas. So yeah, you will have, I'm getting that, you will have new people come onto your path. Whatever you've left behind because it was no longer good for you, Spirit's putting something new. They're replacing what you've left behind with something that is better and something that's meant to stay. The World, there's the closing of the cycle. You're just entering it's just a new chapter, a new era in your life, a new you. I think spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, a new you. And your comfort zone may have been with the people pleasing and being in situations that you've settled for, but you don't really want. And, you know, some people find great comfort in their discomfort. Do you know what I mean? They think that it's not going to get any better, so they find a way to just accept and be comfortable among among the uncomfortable. Well, you're stepping out of that completely with that World card. New you, new chapter. It's all starting in May. It's all happening this month for you. I'm happy for you. This is major, major healing and transformation. Spirit saying where you're going next in life is big. It's very significant, and it's some place that your past baggage just cannot go because it just doesn't belong. It's okay to let it go. All right? Okay, so that's what I have for you, Group 1. I really hope that this was helpful. Private readings are still open. There is a link in the description to where you can book with me. My contact info should also be in the description. So if you can't find it or it's not working or whatever, you can just contact me via email or whatever. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time on my channel. Okay, Group 2, hello and welcome. If you were drawn to the melting mushroom or the morganite multicolor bracelet, the rose tarot, or just the fact that it was Group 2, this will be your reading. This will be the messages that Spirit wants to give you regarding your month of May 2025. All right, first I'll put our deck where you can actually see it. I think first we're going to look at our work, career, and finances, those messages. Before we get into the tarot, though, I am going to give you an oracle card from Yasmin Boland's Moonology Oracle deck. Not sponsored, I just really like this deck and I use it all the time. So Spirit, what does Group 2 need to know regarding their career path or their work, their finances, whatever you want to share with them in that field of their life for the rest of May 2025? Okay, rest of May 2025, Group 2. For their work, their finances, their career, what do you need them to know? Adjustments are required. Okay, that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes we don't realize that we need to make adjustments, and then we make the adjustments and we're like, holy shit, I feel so much better. I had no idea. Ooh, okay, these cards are hella slippery, so I'm gonna just go ahead and give them an extra shuffle. Yep, all right. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. This is such a pretty deck too. I got it from a client / regular viewer actually many years ago, about 4, almost 5 years ago. And they're lovely, beautiful cards. Beautiful, wonderful client and viewer, but beautiful, wonderful cards. And I've just been in love with this deck since. I haven't used it a lot, so I wanted to today. 6 of Wands, Ace of Swords. Adjustments are required when it comes to group 2's work. You know what? Okay, hang on. Interesting. So the success that you're looking for with, maybe it's a project or something that you have been plugging away at lately. You're like, oh, I just can't solve this thing. Like, or I just need to, what do I need to do to make this happen? What do I need to do to make this work? What do I need to do to make this satisfactory? And then you learn it this month with the Ace of Swords, what it is that you need to do. So if you've been stuck dealing with something for a while, and now this is, I'm being shown like coding or like a software. I don't work in this kind of field, so I may get these terms wrong, and feel free to giggle if you want or correct me if you want, whatever. But I'm seeing somebody who's writing code and they're looking at these lines of code and there's a bug. And the program or the game, you know, let's just say it's someone who's making a video game. Just, okay. And yeah, they're staring at these lines of code. They're like, what the hell is causing this glitch? Like, there's this bug. It crashes the game. Every time I try and make this run, it crashes it, or it causes a problem, or like, why does it keep corrupting? Like, why is it just, something's not working here? What the shit is going on? You realize what it is, and it's something that's been bothering you for a while, because like, I'm seeing like you've looked at it, your colleagues have looked at it, you've been Googling, you've been looking at message boards, you've been going back to message boards from like the Windows 98 era to see if they had any answers from the past that could help you. And you're like, what the hell is going on? And maybe you're getting frustrated. I could understand that. I'm going to keep that one that fell out face down. Hierophant. And it's something to do, I'm still going to use the coding example, but you're going to have to adjust this in, you know, to how it resonates with you. But you realize, like, you've gone through all the lines of code that you thought were leading to this particular bug. Maybe a character you've made just keeps T-posing and glitching out, and you're like, what the F? So you've gone through all of their like character files, their design files, you know, you've looked at everything, and you're like, I can't find the problem. But the problem is actually maybe not with that character. It's with something deeper, you know, in the code. Maybe it was something, I'm getting the word fundamental. It was something early on, very important, that was wrong and needed to be fixed. And then you figure out, oh, that's what it was. Okay, wow, all right, well, let's go and fix it. And then you go and fix it, and then it turns out all of your characters function properly. And other things in your game or whatever that you're designing actually function, or maybe it runs faster, it loads better, it functions better because you fixed this issue that was at the core of all of this code. Again, I'm not a computer expert. I am a computer enthusiast, but I'm not a programmer, right? So take that analogy with as many grains of salt and pepper as you need, but the energy there is the same, right? You're focusing on a detail, something in the details that you think is causing the problem when it was actually something much more, I think, general. And you're going back to the root. Anything else for career for group 2? 5 of coins. Yeah, this is something you've struggled with for a while. And you've put all this time into it, money you've put into it, and like it's starting to like affect the way you feel about yourself. Like this isn't a cups. Usually the pentacles aren't really about the emotions, but it's like you're starting to question, am I just stupid? why can I not figure this out? Like, I'm getting so frustrated. And maybe you're worried, if I don't figure this out in time for launch, like, I will lose my job. Or if I don't figure out this issue before the deadline, like, you're afraid of what's going to happen. Don't worry, you do figure out what's wrong. Okay, anything else for group 1 to know regarding career, finances, etc.? So I love seeing that they end up solving it. It's like solving a puzzle, really. They solve the puzzle, and then whatever it is actually works out. This 5 of coins is your fear, though. The fear of you losing your job, or losing the contract, or losing the opportunity, or losing, maybe it's something you're working on just as a project. Maybe it's a passion project, you know, but it's something you want to maybe turn into a job or a source of income, and you're losing your motivation and your will to keep trying because of this issue you kept facing. You know, you were afraid of that, and Spirit's like, no, it's okay that was your fear. That's valid. I get it, but that's not what's actually going to happen. So have some relief knowing that you just need to make a small adjustment somewhere, and it will have this ripple effect that will solve whatever your problem is here with work. Okay. What else can group 2 get for work messages, career, finances? You know what? Let's look at what the finances. What can they know about their finances for the month of May? Empress, something's growing. Perhaps you have, for those of you who invest, I don't know much about investing. I don't give financial advice. That's not what I do. But for some of you who have invested, perhaps you check in on, oh, I wonder how my stocks are doing, and you find they're still growing. You're not ready to cash them out yet. You have this feeling that you could give it like a little bit more time, but it's growing, right? Or there's like, you're saving money or something, and you're like, it's not quite time to put that saved money towards, maybe you're making a purchase, or you're doing something, and you're like, well, no, you know what? Let's just say, for example, like you're about to buy I don't know, Spirit keeps giving me computer analogies. You want to, buy a new PC. Maybe your old one isn't working properly. Excuse me. Or it broke or whatever. For whatever reason, you need a new one. And you've been saving, and in May you see, oh, well, you know what? This brand and this one is on sale at this store for this price, and I could afford it if I use my savings. But then part of you is like, but it doesn't have the amount of RAM that I need, or it doesn't have this or that feature that I really need. And the computer that does have that feature or whatever that you need is still slightly just out of budget, but your savings are growing. So it's like, it's like you're being given this choice. Like, I could cash out now and settle, or, choose to have this thing that is not really what I need, but it's close enough almost. Or I could still keep this money aside. I won't cash it out yet. I'll let this grow just a little bit. I think you're going to be leaning more towards letting the investment or the money or whatever it is grow just a little bit more before you use it, before you cash out or whatever, right? Before you go do the thing. Anything else about their finances? And for those of you who are trying to manifest money, even if you don't see the results in May, know that it's still happening in the background and it's still growing, because Spirit wants to actually give you more than what you asked for. It just might take a little bit more time than you expected. Okay, what else do we get? Yeah, 4 of Cups. Okay, so there could be that little bit of disappointment where, like, let's go back to the computer example. The one that you wanted with all the right features that you needed is just still a little bit out of reach. And you're disappointed because you're like, I was really hoping I could get that this month. Like, crap, am I going to have to keep using the library computers, or am I going to keep having to use my little laptop that can't handle whatever task, or do I need to like, I guess I'll just keep using this thing that's not really working right now. It's not really what I want. But you also don't feel ready to, the thought of settling for the next best thing is not satisfying to you either. So Spirit's just giving you the heads up, like it's okay if you feel a little bit disappointed that either you can't cash out yet, you just don't have quite enough yet to get the thing that you want. You will eventually, look at that. 9 of Cups, that is when you get what you want. That is the fulfillment. That is the wish come true. Spirit's saying this month, feel the disappointment, feel what you need to feel, get it out of your system. You can't be holding on to it though. You do have to let it go because you will eventually get what you want. It's just still growing in the month of May, right? With your finances. Two of Coins. Balancing. Keep doing what you're doing. But also I am seeing if you just wait and you don't cash out and you don't settle for the next best thing with this, that 4 of Cups energy, it's like not only will you have, it's almost like you'll get some kind of like double reward or double like compensation. So maybe, come June, that computer that you want, it's finally in your budget. And then you find out that in June it goes on sale and you saved a shit ton of money and you had enough left over to get some games, or you had enough left over to purchase a program or to purchase, I don't know, a cute outfit or just a little bit of that extra money because you trusted the process and it worked out. And there's, just something about like better than you thought, double compensation. So it's okay. Don't give up the hope. Don't give up your hope. And then, for those of you who maybe do investing and stuff, it's like, I could, but I want to maybe you're able to, you wait and you're able to like get back double or whatever, what you invested. So not only do you, break even or make a small profit, maybe you make like double the profit you thought you were going to make. Yeah, there's something about just wait and see this month, let it grow so that, when it does become available and you do have the means to get it, there's that double reward again. Maybe you save money or maybe you get back more than you expected. Spirit they will reward your patience and they'll reward, it's okay to feel the disappointment, but when you move past it, they'll reward you moving past that and having like the more hopeful, I'm getting that more hopeful, that more optimistic kind of attitude. Okay. So you'll succeed. You will succeed. So I love seeing that in the month of May, the thing at work that's been difficult for you, you figure out what the problem is. It's something you've been looking in the details. In fact, it's maybe something that's just more general at the base of the thing or of the situation. You figure it out. You're no longer dealing with the fear of losing your job or losing your motivation or your, whatever it is. You figure it out and it is okay. And then you find that on the side, money that you've put away is still growing, an opportunity, an offer, or something that you want is still growing. And you may have to wait this month, but it will come to you because of the patience, I think, that you show this month. It will come to you and you'll get better than what you thought you were going to get. Okay, so those were the career and money messages. I'm going to go ahead and put these back into the deck. We'll shuffle in a minute here. We're going to pull an oracle card because we're going to switch gears and look at your relationships now, group 2. We're going to shuffle and get an oracle card for that. So relationships, it's whatever kind of relationship Spirit wants to talk about. For some of you, the message may resonate and makes you think of your romantic relationship or your spouse. For some of you, it's not like that at all. And the message feels more true about your friendships or your family relationships. And then for some people, I've had people comment and be like, you know what? That actually perfectly described my relationship with myself, because your relationship with yourself is still a valid relationship. That's still a relationship. That still counts. So what is the message Spirit wants to give group 2. Spirit, what do you want them to know about their relationships and the energy surrounding their relationships for the rest of May? This one. Expect powerful change. New moon eclipse. I'm not an astrologer, but I did hear total eclipse of the heart. I don't know if that's the tune. I can't remember, but it's that song, Total Eclipse of the Heart. I don't remember who does it. Brain fart. It's like when I get an analogy and I'm trying to explain a reference to something, it's like it falls completely out of my brain. But it's an 80s song, Total Eclipse of the Heart. That definitely comes to mind. Expect powerful change. So, I'm interested now. What is this powerful change? What does this pertain to for Group 2's relationships? Powerful change. Total eclipse of the heart. Whoa. Let's see. Group 2's relationships. Expect powerful change. Spirit, what is that all about? What can we know? What is going to be best for... Whoa. Okay. All right. I was going to say, what's going to be best for Group 2 to know? And we have the Magus, or the Magus. I don't know how you want to pronounce that. The Magician. It's the Magician. And the 7 of Cups. So, something you've been manifesting maybe for a while, trying to manifest a romantic partner, or you're trying to manifest, or like meeting your soulmate or your twin flame, whatever. Or you wanted to manifest friendships or a friend group, you know. 7 of Cups is saying you've been really patient and it is coming. This hard work you've been doing is paying off. So the work you've been doing with your manifestation, or the work that you've been doing on yourself in the meantime, taking care of yourself, is like preparing it's preparing your heart for all of these powerful new connections. So your patience, of course, too, is paying off. Your hard work and your patience is paying off. There's gratitude also with 7 of Cups. Being grateful for who is already around you that you love, and being grateful that, I'm hearing being grateful for you, which is really tough for some people, you know, especially those who struggle with the self-esteem and things like that. But being grateful that you are who you are, that you are, you know, a reflection of the divine that just so happens to take on the form that you do, with the personality that you have and the quirks and the everything else that you have that makes you you. Five of Pentacles, or 5 of Coins. I'm going to clarify 5 of Coins and Death. Oh yeah, okay, there's your powerful change with that Death card. Look at how similar. There's that moon there. It looks like an eclipse maybe there. And then look at there. I want to clarify our 5 of Coins. What exactly is this referring to? Because this 5 of Coins energy is being completely transformed. 4 Cups. Okay. And you saw me shuffle. I know these came up in that other pile, but you saw me shuffle these. So I'm going to keep this 4 of Cups and 5 of Pentacles. Disappointment. Oh, I see. Disappointment and struggle and maybe suffering. Maybe you are feeling disappointed because you're like, where is my soulmate? Like, why haven't I met him or her yet? Where is this person? Like, where is this love that I've been so, the word desperate comes to mind, but that I've been just so patiently waiting for, that I've just really been desiring. You're letting go of you're letting go of your attachment to, to timelines. Well, I really wanted to manifest this person by 25 so that I could still be with them and be married before I hit 30. you know, that's, for some people, that's like a timeline. Oh, I need to do everything. I need to do X, Y, and Z before I'm 30 or before I'm 40 or before I'm whatever age, right? You're letting go of your attachment to, I need to accomplish this in this set of time or else it's no longer valid and it's no longer worth celebrating. Let go of that. This message is for me too, just as much as it is for you guys. Holy crap. Spirit likes to call me out a lot when I do these readings, some piles more so than others. Yeah, or you're feeling frustrated because you're like, okay, well, I'm X, Y, and Z age, but, you know, I don't have a friend group to belong to, or I don't have a partner. I don't have, maybe you're like, I'm 30 years old and I have nothing to show for it because I have no kids. I have no spouse. I have no self-esteem. I have no friend group. I have no professional networks or anything like that. And I say 30, you can replace that with whatever age you resonates or whatever, but you're letting this go. You're letting go of that notion that you are even on a timeline at all. And that you're letting go of your attachment to, I'm going to call it the race. Oh, well, the race to 30, the race to 40, I need to accomplish this before I'm 50. Oh my God, if I don't accomplish this by 60, then my life was for nothing. Or, you know, you're letting that go. Because you are manifesting relationships. It is coming. Hierophant, marriage, for some of you who want that. You're manifesting that soulmate, that I'm going to call your forever partner, that person that you marry. Ace of Wands. Yeah, if you've been really preoccupied with the whole timelines thing, well, it's so embarrassing that I'm 25 years old and I don't hang out with the people I went to school with anymore, and I see some of my old classmates all still hang out, or like I'm 42 and I'm still not married, I'm still single. And you know, when you're so preoccupied with that, it makes it very hard to manifest much of anything. It makes it very hard for that energy to come to you because you're still resisting it by having the attachment to what's not working and to you maybe what is so disappointing and frustrating. Month of May, Ace of Wands, a brand new creative start. So when you're going to have to do there might be some therapy required or something. You're going to have to do some journaling or some shadow work, healing work, to let go of these attachments with the Death card to what you thought your relationships were supposed to look like by the time you hit whatever age that you are. Once you let that go, then Spirit's like, oh, now there's room for you to manifest this new thing. Now you can try this again. There's this feeling of, yeah, the energetic, like the blockages are out of your path. Maybe you're trying to manifest, oh, I need to be married before 30, or I need to find a partner before 30, or I need to find a friend group before, you know, whatever age. And Spirit's like, you'll find that friend group, or you'll find that, you know, those people, you'll find those connections, but you really have to let go of the condition that it has to be by the time you hit a certain age. Because like maybe you're, I don't know, maybe you're like 29 and a half and you're like, oh, I really thought, or you're 39 and a half, let's say you're 39 and a half and you're like, I really didn't want to be single at 40 and I just really need to manifest a boyfriend or a girlfriend or, you know, this year in the next 6 months so that I will succeed with this manifestation of having this relationship before I'm 40. And Spirit's like, dude, you need to let go of the notion that has to be before you're 40. Maybe when you are 40 is when you meet that person. Maybe when you're 40 and a half, you know, once you've let go of that attachment, then it's like you get what it is that you've been looking for in your relationships. Spirit, what about a message for people who are already in, I don't know. I just feel like pulling one for those who are already in romantic connections or marriages/romantic connections. Is there anything? Because there's Hierophant and Ace of Wands. And so for those who are already married, like perhaps there's, you introduce something new to your marriage or new into your, I'm going to say into your bedroom, your love life there, or there's some kind of like a new, hey, let's try this new adventure together. Let's try this new thing together. But I want to know what else for those watching in group 2 who are already in relationships. Okay, 4 of Coins, 4 of Pentacles, insecurity, but that doesn't mean you're manifesting it. It's something you've already been dealing with. King of Swords, you get to the root of the insecurity. Somebody points this out to you. It does say David here on the side of the King of Swords card. So maybe David is the name of your partner or your spouse or somebody significant to you. Maybe you end up going to like a marriage counselor, relationship therapist, and their name is David, and they tell you something that you're like, holy shit, I didn't even think about that. Oh, that makes sense. That was the root of my insecurity. And then you and your partner are able to move forward and start this new thing together with what you've learned from the help you've gotten. One more card for my group 2s who are in relationships already. And the whole manifesting and stuff, wanting something before you hit a certain timeline, this can all still apply to those who are in relationships. Maybe you've been engaged for a long time and you're like, oh, I wanted to get married this year, but then your finances are like, haha, no. Or, you know, some circumstance is like, haha, no. And you're horrified and disappointed by it. And then Spirit's like, you know what, you'll still manifest that, but it may not be this year. You may have to just, you know, you let go of that expectation of when it is going to be and when versus when you think it should be, right? Anyway, that's just another example. Yeah, there's just too much. You're holding on to too much. You're worrying. You're holding on to too many worries, I think. You're with our 10 of Wands here. Some of you are doing too much maybe with your manifestation work, because it's not like you're wasting your energy necessarily. It's just that you're maybe trying to channel your energy and put it into the wrong thing, or you're asking for the right thing in the wrong way. And it's just causing you so much burden, and you're getting mad. You're like, this isn't working. It's not worth it. I don't deserve relationships, friendships, love. Okay, well, whatever. And you're like, fine, I give up. There's where your powerful change happens, is when you're like, fine, fuck it. I'm going to drop all these plans I have. I'm going to drop all these expectations. You know what? If I'm 50 years old and still single with my dog or with my cats, fine. Who cares? Even if you do care, it's that energy of, you know what? Whatever. Fine. Fine. We'll just, que sera, sera, you know, whatever will happen, will happen. I get it. And then that's when you manifest, you meet that special person, or that's when the money comes in for you to start actually planning your wedding, or that's when you get introduced to a new social group and you become very good friends with them. And then for those who are in relationships struggling with things like insecurity, doubt, you need to speak. There is speaking to a professional and getting some kind of guidance like that from somebody who's on the outside of your situation, who can help you and give you ideas or strategies. Or if you go to a therapist, let's just say they help give you strategies to help you let go of, you know, why do you feel like you're so pressured to accomplish this, to have this before you're 30, 40, 50, whatever. And you get to the root of it. And then you once you figure out the root of it, and maybe it's something you can change and maybe it's something you can't, then it's like, okay, you know what? Fine. We're going to take all that pressure off myself. It'll work out. You will get it. There are powerful changes this month with that. Yeah, I think this is the month where you realize, okay, I'm done with the attachments. I'll still manifest, you know what, love coming into my life. I'll still manifest a happy marriage. I'll still work on manifesting healthy friendships and a good friend group, but I'm going to let go of when I think it's supposed to happen and maybe how I think it should happen or supposed to happen. Okay? So that's your relationship message. I'm going to put these back again, and then we're going to look at our final section, and that's our spiritual development, personal and spiritual development. Now, the stuff from our last two messages here will tie into your spiritual growth. Everything that we experience, you know, in our work, in our relationships, etc., in our lives, it does have an effect on our I would say our personal development, our spiritual path, our spiritual development. So what's the message group 2 needs to get about, okay, their spiritual growth? Personal issue reaches resolution. Adjustments required. Expect powerful change. These all go together. Adjust, you know, maybe your expectations that you adjust, or the adjustments you make. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna just say that mix up of words was actually meant to be adjusting your expectations, adjusting your methods to manifestation, or methods to trying to achieve whatever it is that, you know, that you're hoping for and wanting. Personal issue reaches resolution. I'm hearing something about like you are free and, you know, no longer, I'm hearing no longer trapped by the ego and its demands. You're free, no longer trapped by the ego and its demands. If you've been feeling like, I will not be happy, I will never be happy, I will not be appreciative or grateful until I get this thing that I've been wanting within this timeline, that's changing. You're going to find that sometimes you have no choice but to not have what you want when you want it, right? You might think, oh, I will be so depressed if I turn 40 and I still don't have a partner. Maybe you turn 40 and you're like, oh, I actually feel pretty good. Yeah, I'm single, but like I feel okay. I don't feel as bad as I thought I was going to, because you've changed your expectations, right? For what you thought your life should be by the time you've hit 40. Or whatever age. Okay, well, these all fell out. Let's just keep them. All right, we got High Priestess. Justice. Okay, High Priestess, Justice, Queen of Cups. Again, 10 of Wands. But I see. You've been getting insights, I think, spiritual insights, and your intuition has been speaking to you, and you have been getting messages from your guides. Maybe you're here being like, you know, why aren't my guides listening? Why aren't they listening? And they're like, we are listening. You're just wearing sound canceling headphones. Take those off. Or we are listening. Just take your fingers out of your goddamn ears. Excuse my French. But you know, it's that, like, a message that you weren't receiving, and you thought that the universe was ignoring you, but in fact, you didn't realize that you were the one ignoring them. That's being sorted out with Justice. Okay? I'm trying to read what this name is on Queen of Cups. Judith. That took me a minute, but yes, Judith. So I don't know, maybe there's something significant about, maybe you are Judith, or there's something significant about the name Judith, or somebody with that name maybe who helps you. Maybe that's like a spiritual practitioner, or a reader, or Reiki, practitioner, somebody who kind of helps you to energetically like release the struggle that you've been carrying. And you realize, like, oh, I was actually getting in my own way. Okay, well, that's awkward, but you know what? All right, at least now I know, and I can sort through my feelings and process the frustration, the disappointment, the embarrassment, whatever it is that you end up feeling. All right, I'll process that. Maybe Judith is your therapist. I don't know. Yeah, I'll process that. And then you find, okay, you know what? this really isn't so bad. Letting go of this attachment these attachments that I had and these expectations, it was causing me more trouble than it was worth. So I feel better now just letting this go. And then you find that your intuition is a little bit sharper because you're not having your fingers in your ears being like, la, 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 I only want you to tell me what I want to hear. And if it's not what I want to hear, then, then it's not from spirit. Sometimes we are a little guilty of doing that. Sometimes I am too. You stop doing that and there's your balance, right? You get those intuitive messages and you're like, okay, yeah, it's not just me overthinking it. Okay, you know what? Yes, I'll accept this message. I will. Maybe it'll make sense later. Maybe it'll make sense now. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to resist it. And then you find that, yeah, your spiritual communication gets clearer. You learned what it was going on with you, the root, excuse me, of what was sort of keeping you, yeah, I guess stuck, more or less. Okay, let's get some more tarot messages. Your spiritual development for the month of May, group 2. There's, Emperor, 6 of Cups. Excuse me. No, Spirit's saying it's got to be 6 of Cups, Emperor. Okay, that's very specific. I usually don't get instructed to do that, but all right. Six of Cups, that's about your past, your childhood, also things like nostalgia, but what I'm getting, 6 of Cups, okay, you know what? Maybe you had such rigid, I'm going to say timelines that you held yourself to. Oh, I need to do X, Y, and Z by the time I'm this age. Because that's what you were just conditioned to believe when you were growing up. Maybe the people around you when you were young, that's what they taught you. And it wasn't like they taught you that to hurt you. It's just they thought that was the truth. And they thought that was just the way things were. And so that's all they knew. So that became what you knew, right? But Emperor is saying, but you are grown now. You don't actually have to hang on to, well, if I don't accomplish this, then my family will be disappointed. You don't know that they'll be disappointed if you don't get married by the time you're 30, or if you don't find a partner by the time you're 40, or if you don't fit into a friend group, by the time you're whatever, by the time you get, I don't know, like let's say you're in university and you're still struggling to find a group of friends that, resonate with you. And you're like, oh my gosh, if I don't find a group of friends by like my 4th year, like this will be horrible. Or, a group of friends by whatever time, this will be horrible. 6 of Cups is like, maybe you learned that when you were young. Maybe you unconsciously learned, oh, well, if I don't make friends by this point in the school year, I'm going to be lonely. But you're grown now. You don't have to listen to that, whatever it was, that influence that you had when you were young that made you think the way that you think now. Okay, interesting. And this meant, oh my God, Spirit, if this was some other reader doing this video, this would have absolutely been my pile. Holy crap. But yeah, and like the whole hitting the societal milestones. Well, you graduate at this age, you go to college at this age, you're married at this age, you have kids by this age, you retire by this age. And if you don't, then you are falling behind. That's not true. You're grown now. You get to choose what you tell yourself. You can reparent your inner child and you can decide, I'm done trying to fit society's timelines. I'm done trying to do this. I learned that I had to do this when I was young, but now I'm an adult, so I can unlearn that and I can learn something else. Hangman. Yep, there's your change in perspective. And Ace of Coins. We're going to go with that. Hangman, Ace of Coins. So yeah, Hangman, like I said, there's your change in the way that you see your life. Once you realize, okay, no, I'm an adult. I'm going to take charge. I'm going to do what is best for me, not what I think is going to make other people happy, and not what I think is going to make me a good noodle according to society, you know, you're going to realize, oh, well, I actually wouldn't have been happy if I'd rushed into, maybe you find you are a little older and time passes and you're like, oh my God, like I'm actually so glad I waited before getting into a relationship, or I'm so glad that we waited before getting married. I'm so glad that I waited before just settling for this friend group because I saw them every day, or, you know, you're like, you know what, this makes sense. I'm okay with this now. This is okay. And the shift in your perspective too is like everyone, maybe you realize like everybody is on a different path, and you know, maybe in general people can accomplish certain things around the same time in life, but that doesn't mean that that's the rule. That just seems, just because it's the norm doesn't mean that it's the rule, right? Ace of Coins, you realize there's something here. You realize that you've really gained something beautiful spiritually. I'm seeing literally like gold star on a chart. Like your angels or your guides are like, okay, group 2, you've been a good noodle. You figured this out. This was a lesson you really needed to learn, that you came here to learn. You came here to unlearn something in order to learn something else. And it's a gift. It really is a gift. And this realization that you're living your best life, you're doing what you can, you're living your life's path in the way that's going to be in the best alignment for you, to help you learn what you need to learn, what your soul wants you to learn, what you incarnated here to learn. Let's just do like 2 more just to wrap things up. Advice, Queen of Coins. Yeah, you do you. There's Rachel on that Queen of Coins. That name might be significant to some of you in some way. You are on your own path. You are not on anybody else's path. It's not a race. It's not, like nobody's keeping score. If you don't hit a certain milestone by the age somebody else does, doesn't mean that you did it wrong and that you're losing at life. Like you're on your own path. It's okay. You're going to learn to value that path and appreciate it, and you will find that you're going to find that you're more fulfilled when you do things the way in which, I guess, Spirit has arranged for you, and the divine timing that's best for you. You're going to find that I think you're going to be happier, you're going to enjoy life better, and you're going to enjoy what it is that you want to manifest much more. You're going to have such a deeper appreciation once you learn to accept that you're doing things on your own timing and in your own life and in your own way. 8 of Coins, I'm just getting with that one. Just keep doing your best work. This is part of your life's work. This is part of the task for you. The curriculum I'm getting is, unlearning the societal expectations, and this is what you need to accomplish in this time in order to be valid and for you to have done something with your life. You let that go. Just keep doing your best. Okay, so group 2, that's what I see here for you. A lot of powerful changes, and you enter into a happier, a more secure, a more fulfilling, a more, just a part of life that you find you appreciate much more. So those are my messages for you that I've got, that I was able to channel. I really hope it was helpful. Private readings are still open for now. There's a link in the description to where you can book with me. If you liked this video, thank you. I really appreciate that. You know what to do. Like, comment, sub, whatever you want. And thanks for being here. And I'll see you again next time on my channel. All right, group 3. If you were drawn to these rainbow mushrooms, the sky blue jade bracelet, or the One World Tarot, or just the fact that, it was pile 3, then this will be your reading. So your predictions for the rest of May 2025. Now, let me just, the glare. The glare is, for some reason, really, really bad when I use, there we go, this particular setup. So we're actually going to set the tarot cards aside. We're going to start with an oracle message. Actually, first of all, with these predictions for May, we're going to start by getting messages regarding your work, your career, your finances for the month of May, for the rest of the month of May, as it is May 3rd while I'm recording this. But you know what? That's fine. That's fine. So, Spirit, what's Group 3's messages for their career, their work, their finances for May 2025? What do they need to know for this month about those things? All right, let's get these shuffled. Okay, career message, oracle card. Bring love into the situation. I'm hearing something about, there's that saying, do what you love and love what you do, or there, I actually am now thinking of a song. I don't know who it's by. My partner will laugh if he sees this video and knows that I forget who it's by. So it's an artist that he likes. But anyway, there's like this song. It's like, love what you do and do what you love. I don't know if that's the right key or the melody, but you know, close enough. That's playing in my head. Love what you do and do what you love. Interesting. Well, let's see what we can get for tarot messages then. Whoa. Okay, there. Still not cut evenly, but it'll be fine. We'll cut and shuffle one more time. So love what you do and do what you love. Bring love into the situation with your work. Pile 3, Group 3. So that's better. Tarot messages for Group 3. Whoa. All right. Okay. Queen of Pentacles has decided she was going to come flying out. Temperance, Hierophant. Okay, we have a lot. I'm going to reset my layout here. Okay, I don't know. I think that's the best I can do with the setup right now. I don't know why the glare is so bad, especially sometimes when I use One World Tarot. The deck is, the cards are a bit glossy, shiny, so that does happen, but I don't get it. The other decks, the other groups, their cards are very similar, but I didn't have such a problem with lighting and glare, but whatever, that's okay. All right, Queen of Pentacles, Temperance, Hierophant, 8 of Cups, 7. I think we'll start with these and then we'll pull some more. So bring love into the situation. There seems to be maybe a slow transition into doing something because you want to do it, because you like to do it, because it's where your passion lies, not just because that's what makes you money. I think that's how it started, which is fair. When we start a new job, especially, we do have to kind of, you know, get along to, what is the word? Go along to get along, whatever. You kind of have to play the game a little bit and not take too many creative liberties until you've been there a while and you're more comfortable. But now it seems like you've moved past that. You are, slowly working on working towards what builds you up. I was going to say building on what builds you up. I'm also getting something, a message here. Oop, I have to stop bumping my thing here. I'm also getting this message with like Hierophant, 8 of Cups, and Temperance here. Like there's a realization you're slowly coming to, and that is, do I even like what I'm doing? You can like the paycheck that it gives you, but you're starting to question, do I even like this? Like, does working here, does this even align with my personal values? Is this something I can continue doing? Is this something that I'm proud of doing? Is this someone I'm proud of representing? Do I still love this? And I have here, if you don't love what you do, then why are you doing it? This is a realization you're coming to. Yeah, we still need to pay bills. We still need our financial stability, but it seems like you're starting to work towards creating this stability, I think, for yourself. Seven of Pentacles, I'm getting something about evaluations here too. Maybe you've been there for a long time and you're like, everything that I do here, it all has to be by the book. It all has to be done the right way. Because this is the way that we do things, and this is the way we've always done things. But I really want to mix things up a little bit. I want to do what makes me happy. I want to do what I love, what I want to wake up in the morning and look forward to doing. Looks like you're kind of taking stock of that with that Seven of Pentacles. Let's get a few more tarot messages. Yeah, because if you don't love, that message is very powerful. If you don't love what you're doing, why are you doing it? Why are you still there? Okay, the Star card. She doesn't technically have any nipples, I think, drawn on her on that card, but YouTube is really weird about the types of cards and human anatomy that they allow tarot readers to, show with their cards. Anyway, we got the Star card. You are a really good worker. And I'm getting like you excel at what it is here that you do. Sometimes you can be really good at something, but I don't know, maybe feel a bit of a burnout from it because you're doing it in a way that just no longer recharges you, that no longer like gives you life, gives you energy. And now you're more like, okay, I'm here because we collect the check, we pay these expenses, I save this. The cycle continues. We collect the check, I pay my expenses, I save this. Your savings are building, and it's, slowly over time with this work that you excel at. Maybe that's why you're still there, even though you don't really love either what you do or who you do it for / with, or, the company itself, but you're still there because the money. And that's okay. I'm not judging you for that. That absolutely makes sense. I think all of us that are in the workforce have been there or are in some way there, right? But it's becoming, something's just starting to feel very monotonous. Yeah, because that song, that Do What You Love and Love What You Do, like it's not playing in my head anymore. Now I just hear a record, a record, it's spinning and you hear like with the needle kind of scratching on the grooves, but it's not actually playing anything. I'm hearing that now. So what's the answer then? Okay, Justice, something balances out. There is a solution. The solution may be different for each person who hears this reading. I like knowing that there is going to be a solution. What is it? New beginning. Okay. That's pretty blunt. For some of you, it is literally you may need to just find another working environment. Maybe you love what you do, but you don't love the environment that you're doing it in. The suggestion here, and I say it's a suggestion because I know that some things are easier said than done. It's not always easy to be like, okay, well, I know I didn't really like this workplace. Like, I know I should just quit, but I can't because X, Y, and Z, I get that. But Spirit wants to like plant the seed in your mind at least this month. So yeah, for some of you, it is finding a different job or a different environment in which you do this job. And maybe that is enough to change your, to just mix it up, that change of scenery to make you sort of go back to loving what you do. And maybe for some of you, you're leaving something behind because you're like, you know what? I actually don't like working in hospitality and tourism. This sucks. My real desire was cooking. And maybe you switch to start making the plans to switch to that, career track or start learning how to get into that or go back to school or something like that, right? And then for some of you, it's like, well, I like this place and I like what I do, but I just feel like I'm in a rut of everything is just so boring and predictable and samey, And the Fool card could be saying, well, what if you just changed up your approach? Like, what if you I don't know, like an example I'm seeing is maybe a teacher who really loves the grade that she teaches and she likes the school that she works in, but something has become, it's just, I don't know, it's just, yeah, just routine. That passion that she had when she first started has kind of faded, and yet at the same time she's like, no, I still love this job and the kids and my colleagues, but what do I do? And maybe the answer for some of you who are in a situation like that is like, find some new way to do this, a new strategy, a new, set up a new routine, maybe rearrange your classroom, or instead of using the same lesson plans that you've had for the last 15 years, like maybe switch up one of the activities, or, just something like that. There's something you can change. For some of you, it's changing completely what you are doing or where, and for some of you, it's just changing how you do things and just changing the routine, and for some of you, it could just be changing the way in which you see your job. Well, maybe it's not exciting every day, but I do love to see work get done. Well, it's not glamorous, but I do love seeing the progress, or I do love doing these tasks. Whatever it is, right? You do find eventually, some way to kind of fall back in love with what you're doing. And if you're doing something that you don't love, you will find something that you do love. Interesting. Anything about finances? Because I got a lot about like how we feel about our jobs and how we feel about what we're doing. I'm just going to collect this top one. Spirit wants me to take the top one. 6 of Wands is what flipped out there. Well, it was on the top of this whole collection of cards that flipped out. There's your success. There's your, okay, I did it. I figured it out. I've got it. I feel better. This works. You're going to find what works. Thank God this works. Okay. Yeah, you find the solution. I think you find that solution this month too. And then, for some of you where the solution may be a little bit more complex, you get that bug in your ear this month. Spirit has planted the seed in your mind this month. And that's going to help you to, as time goes on, make a more clear and defined and doable plan. Okay. Anything specifically about finances, money? Okay. Same old. It seems like there are no major disruptions to your income. You're still, it seems like progress as usual. And I think this is good. This is stability. That's the word I was looking for. I was going to say stable, I was going to say sturdy, and then I was going to say stability at the same time. So your finances are stable. Everything is routine. It's predictable as usual. There's just finding some joy and some fun in the monotony and the predictability. That's kind of the challenge. I see that. But no, it looks good. Everything looks good. So the changes that you want to make, if you want to make changes, Spirit's saying like, yes, this is the month to do it, or to at least do your research and start looking into it. And then, you want to maybe reinvigorate the joy that you had for this work that you do. Spirit's like, yep, this is the month for you to do it. This is the month for you to try something new. And, like with the teacher example, maybe mix up your lesson plans for next year so that you're not just reading the same books over and over again. And you're not, giving the same lesson in the same way with the same words and the same spiel over and over again. Just for those of you who want to stay in what you're doing and where, this month you're just getting that, I think, inspiration, finding ways to do things differently so that you kind of reignite that joy. Okay. All right. Nope. This looks good. This looks good. So that's your career message, your work message. I'm going to put these back in the deck. We're going to put our sticker over there just in case we need to censor any other cards. Let's, you know what? Before I pull tarot for relationships, let's look at an oracle card for your relationship. So Spirit, group 3's relationships. And For some of you, the message may feel true for a romantic relationship or a marriage or partnership. And then for some of you, maybe it feels more true for your platonic relationships, your friendships, or your family relationships. And then some people find that this relationship message actually applies to the relationship they have with themselves. So your mileage may vary. But we're going to get messages on what is going to be most important for you to know about your relationships and your personal social connections for the rest of May, group 3. Your hard work is paying off, okay? I'm not an astrologer, but this card did say new moon in Capricorn. Maybe you are in a friendship or relationship or something with a Capricorn person or someone with Capricorn placements that, you know, that could be significant to you. Take that if it resonates. If not, no worries. We're going to shuffle our tarot cards. Your hard work's paying off in regards to your relationships. I'm getting also like something about patience. Your patience is paying off. Oh, cut the deck. We got Lovers and 3 of Swords. Okay, love and heartbreak. These are like almost opposites. Well, kind of, yeah. Love and loss. We are gonna shuffle again though, and if those come up, absolutely we'll keep them. But I did feel those were significant. Maybe some of you recently went through a heartbreak and you did a lot of hard work, like with healing and self-work and shadow work, and that's paying off. You're getting over it, or you're getting through it, you know? Maybe this is the month where you feel like your heartbreak really is healing and you are either ready to accept new love or you're ready to, open your heart back up to yourself. Interesting, but let's see what else we can get for tarot messages. Okay. King of Wands, 10 of Cups. Feeling confident because you found where you fit. You found where you belong. You found your chosen family, or some people call your soul family. This is awesome. This is covering, I'm feeling that it covers platonic and family. However, the funny thing about that is family is whatever you want it to be. You know, we have our biological family. We have, or some of us have adoptive family, right? Or foster family. And then we have also our chosen family. And those can be our friends. Those can be just the people around us that we really love and we just hold so dearly and so closely that really when you think about them and your relationship to them, the first thing you say is, yeah, we're family. And you're feeling really confident. You're feeling very strong with this King of Wands. You're feeling very, there is a solar plexus chakra message and sacral chakra message here. I wouldn't be surprised really if your solar plexus and sacral chakras, actually I'm going to go and root as well, but especially the sacral and solar plexus. So the sacral, that's the orange chakra, the solar plexus, the yellow chakra, opening up and healing. Especially when we cut the deck and we saw that 3 of Swords, that was the grief, the separation. That's something you've already experienced. It doesn't mean it's coming back into your life this month in the same form. But anyway, that grief plus the healing of the chakras. So sacral chakra, that's your emotional center. It's your creative center. It also holds a lot of like I'm going to say your sexual energy and experiences, like, the memory that your body holds on to from those kind of experiences. But yeah, definitely a lot with like your emotions, and with that healing, I could see that emotional healing from heartbreak. That storm is letting up. You're finally able to let go and move forward. There's even a lovely rainbow on that 10 of Cups. And what helps you to get through this, and what helps you with your healing, and Like you not only are getting through the emotional pain, but sometimes we experience a relationship breakup or just a not a good relationship, and it really knocks down our self-esteem. Maybe we get broken up with and we feel embarrassed about, oh my God, I got dumped. Or even without romantic relationships, it can be someone decides, you know what, I don't really think we should be friends. And that hurts your self-esteem, and it makes you sad and it makes you grieve. That's healing. You're healing. I love seeing this. Oh my goodness. So yeah, you're becoming way more confident. You're feeling so much happier. I'm just about to talk in circles about how happy I am about all your healing that you're doing in regards to your relationships. But let's see what else we have. Your hard work is paying off. You've done so much healing work. You haven't even given yourself credit for it, so go ahead and do that. Even if you don't think you've done a lot, you have. Giving it time and sitting through your emotions, that's hard work sometimes, especially when we feel really sad or really uncomfortable feelings or, just really heavy things. And going to therapy, that's work. Talking to someone you trust to just vent out your feelings, that's work. That's all inner work. Ace of Pentacles, a new blessing. Oh, the connections, what you've lost, eventually you're going to realize that what you've lost is it's not going to feel like as big a loss as it maybe does right now or as it did, because what is coming next is so much more fulfilling. I'm hearing literally richer friendships, richer relationships, deeper, more meaningful, more valuable. These people that are coming into your life next, like they value you just as much as you value them. My camera timer says 2222 as soon as I said, value you. So take that as a confirmation. Ace of Pentacles, I'm also just being brought back to that solar plexus chakra again. Like it's solidified, like, wow, something may have felt like a real blow to your confidence in the past with your relationships, but it was that exact thing that makes your confidence so much stronger. Oh, okay, I get it. Spirit's showing me I'm getting the analogy of exercise. Let's say somebody's lifting weights. And, when you lift weights and you do the muscle strength training and stuff, you do actually slowly damage or very slightly, if I remember correctly, damage the muscle fibers. But, and that's why, you get sore and whatever else, one of the reasons why, but then it repairs itself and it ends up being bigger and firmer and stronger, right? That's how you get stronger. So consider what you last went through, whether it was a, romantic breakup, a friendship breakup, somebody just, or a friendship, maybe a connection, something just doesn't really pan out. Like, don't think of that as, oh my God, that was so humiliating, because maybe think of it as like a muscle workout, a strength workout for your solar plexus chakra, for your personal power. Oh, excuse me. Yep, just a strength workout. So what's coming for the month of May for relationships then for group 3? Because I see there's finding where you belong, there's finding your people, there's your newfound confidence. Oh, look at, we got the star again, excel. There we go. Yeah, people who appreciate, oh, I get it. So you're very loyal. I picked this up for those of you, just the collective energy for people who choose this group. It's like, you're very loyal. You're very, I'm getting like hardworking, but it's like you're willing to put in a lot of hard work in your relationships. Emotional labor, that's what I'm kind of thinking of. You're a hard worker, with your emotional labor. Yeah, you put time and energy and intention into your relationships. You're an excellent friend. You're very good at being a friend, simply put. You're going to have people around you now who can understand that and appreciate that. Sometimes we're around people who just don't really seem to understand, or they just don't really have either the capacity or the, I don't know, something to, or the bandwidth, I was about to say, you know, the emotional or mental or whatever bandwidth to be able to relate to us and understand and appreciate us. You're going to find people who do. I will flip it like that. The colors are a lot nicer. Okay. Yeah. And then we have the World card. We have Strength. The World card that's wrapping up a chapter, right? Wrapping up something that's done. It's a lesson learned. It's, you know, I see it as the end of the film, and you're about to move on to the next thing in the series, the next installment. You're in a position with the Strength card to be able to go into this next stage of your life. Prepared, really, is the word I'm getting. So much more prepared. You're realizing something. Oh, here's something important coming in. Yeah, you're realizing that your worth, your personal power, your validity as a human being, you know, incarnated here, is not dependent on what the people around you think. It's not dependent on how the people around you feel about you. It's not even dependent on how many friends or people you have around you. It's all from within you. This is what, I have like little, not quite goosebumps, but chills. You bring to the table for your future relationships and the relationships you have now, okay? What you bring to the table is so much, oh my gosh, okay. So much more substantial than what you were able to bring before. You have wisdom to provide to others because of what you've learned. The example now that you set, because you've been able to work through the stuff you've learned and embody it and be it. Wow. So for this month, this is like where it starts, where here Spirit's giving me an analogy of a dinner party. At first, all you were able to bring was some McDonald's, you know, some burgers. And that's fine, because at that time, that was all you could offer. And that's okay, right? But the thing about that kind of food is that it is not very, I'm going to say, nutritionally dense. And it's not as good as something homemade. So now you go to the dinner party, and instead of McDonald's, you now have let's say you got the cooking skills and the resources and the materials available to make homemade burgers. You know, you picked up fresh meat, you cooked it yourself, you did everything, all that on your own. And there's more nutrition now. It's a lot more filling, let's say, than maybe a Big Mac. Do you know what I'm getting at? What you offer to your friendships and relationships now is wisdom and maturity and just a way of being that's just so much more enriching for you and for those around you. Beautiful. Spirit silly. They're saying you're upgrading from what are they called? Those fruit gummies. You know, you're upgrading. You're moving on up from those Welch's fruit gummy snacks that are not really fruit to being able to grow and cultivate and offer up real fruit. Oh, this is awesome. Look at that. There's our Lovers card. Real honest to God, solid love, trust, friendship, kindness, and respect in your relationships, group 3. And you living out what you've learned here and the increased confidence and just the increased wisdom and stuff, you are helping the people around you. Oh, I should have done that a few seconds ago, but you know what? Whatever, it's fine. But you are helping the people around you to enrich their own relationships. There's a ripple effect happening here. I'm so happy. Spirit is so proud. That's the biggest feeling that I'm picking up right now is pride. Your guides are just so proud of you. They're so happy. I just feel this really like calm, level, relaxed joy channeling this message to you. And it's Spirit wants me to share with you like that, this calm joy that I'm feeling and this calm energy that I just feel like I'm in right now. This is how your relationships are going to be from this point on. I love this. Okay. That's where we're going to leave our relationship reading. We're going to put these back in the deck. We're going to pull an oracle card for your spiritual growth, your spiritual development. And yes, your spiritual development, it is kind of a sum of these other 2 messages. Everything in life that we go through and everything that we do, you know, it does all affect our spiritual development. But let's see what kind of specific messages we have. Okay, what do we got? Show the world the real you. Interesting. Okay. Show the world the real you. Yeah, I'm hearing your awakened self, your authentic self. Show the world that which you are. All that you are is all that I am, is all that they are. By showing the world all that you are, you're helping people realize all that they are. Okay, all right. Oop. Oh, wow. Okay, all right. Slippery. Well, slippery cards kind of, but also just butterfingers. My joints get a little sore when I do these videos sometimes, or I'm shuffling a lot and whatever, so I get a little bit droppy. Spirit, what does group 3 need to know regarding their personal growth, their soul growth? Excuse me. All right, what do we have? I think we have an upside down deck. Okay, there's King of Wands again. Our confidence, our charisma. There's our healed solar plexus, and it's balanced, right? King of Wands, he feels good about himself. He knows he's charming. He knows he's a good guy. He knows he's attractive. He knows that he's appealing, but he hasn't let it go to his head. He's not vain. He doesn't act like he's better than everyone else. He wants everyone else to feel as good about themselves as he feels about himself. Okay. So I love that. Definitely a lot of that, excuse me, lower chakra healing. Spirit wants you to know you've done the bulk of the work for at least for this cycle of, I'm going to say this cycle of awakening and the cycle in your healing journey right now. Think of it like, I'm seeing like power washing a car. Okay. It's really dirty. You know, first you have your soap and you're just trying to get all the chunks of the dried up mud and you're just trying to get all the really big stuff. Okay. And then that's fine and that's good. And then the next thing you do, or the next cycle of the wash or whatever, is you rinse off all the soap. You rinse off everything, that's been loosened up. Okay. And then the other cycle is like the finer details and maybe the waxing or the turtle wax or whatever they call that, and any other extra treatments just to refine everything and make it just that little bit extra nicer. Your lower 3 chakras, so your root, sacral, and solar plexus, are at that stage where it's like, we're just going to shine it up a little bit. Everything's good. The bulk of it's taken care of, but we're going to just refine it. Okay. Do I have a backwards deck, or am I? No, yeah, I do. So Hangman is supposed to be in reverse. I'm going to shuffle now that I saw some of my cards, but Hangman is in reverse. Your perspective changes, but it's not like a disruption, I think, to your life. It's not a major... Oh, Seven of Swords also in reverse. We'll get to him though. But yeah, it's not a tower. It's a change in your life and your perspective and your outlook on life that was not what you expected, but it was exactly what you needed. And it didn't take as long as you thought. You know, sometimes we're sitting here like, oh, but I've been through so much. This healing is going to take years. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. And this is going to be one of those times where something doesn't take forever, you know, to show results in your life. You're going to be very surprised. Okay. Seven of Swords in reverse. Oh, okay. So you're not, I'm getting something about you're not going to be taken advantage of as easily. Literally hearing the song, Won't Get Fooled Again. My singing voice is not like totally what it needs to be today, but you know, you get what I'm saying. Everyone has heard that song, Won't Get Fooled Again. Won't get fooled again. Okay. Your intuition's getting stronger. Because your confidence with your solar plexus is getting stronger, your ability to trust your gut feeling is getting stronger. Yeah, your ability to trust your intuition. So you don't end up second guessing and fooling yourself, doubting yourself into not believing a message or into just disregarding something. You know, that could have been really beneficial for you to learn. You know what? I realized half my I did the thing when I was shuffling, I think, and now half of my deck is upside down. Spirit wanted me to read this one upright, though. 10 of Swords. Yeah, you're done. Oh, good. You're done playing small. You're done being meek. You're done being shy. And that's not to say if you are naturally an introverted, quiet, or private person. Like, I'm not saying that you're changing fundamental parts of your personality. No, it's just the negative aspects, right? The hiding away of yourself and the doubting yourself and the not having faith in yourself, that's ending. That's leaving your life. Brilliant. You're not letting your doubts and your fears rob you of opportunities for spiritual growth. And the thing I love, though, about like spiritual growth is that there are opportunities that will always come back around. This time, instead of it taking, 3 go-rounds before you finally catch onto the, I don't know, I'm seeing like a model train, onto the train car and be able to go through the cycle. Now it's like, you're like, okay, I'm not going to doubt myself. I know when it gets to this point, I hop on, I go do the thing, I hop off, right? I think Spirit's talking about opportunities like that for your growth, for your development. Okay, what else do we have? Tower in reverse, and okay, it needs to stay in reverse. That's funny. Where I said Hangman in reverse, and I'm like, oh, it's not a tower. Well, here's our tower in reverse, but here's the thing about the tower. This is good. People get scared of this card because change is uncomfortable. It is. Transitions can be very tough. Any kind of transition, especially the big things in our lives. But no, this is okay. I know exactly what's happening here. So I was saying your lower 3 chakras, they're being refined and, everything's being shined up and polished. Well, now it's going to be time to move into the upper chakras, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and crown. Spirit's saying just get ready. You are, I think in this month, you're entering that transitional space. I'm seeing a hallway. Those of you who are familiar with liminal spaces and what it means, I think you will maybe have a good understanding now of what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that word liminal. That is really strongly coming to mind. For those of you who aren't aware of what liminal spaces are, think of areas you go that are usually full of people and are very busy. So think about like a hallway at school, a shopping mall, an airport, etc. Places we don't usually hang around in. It's something that gets us from point A to point B. And now imagine those places empty. Nobody around, nothing. And just how weird it kind of feels. That's kind of what's going on here. But it's good. You're safe, though. Some people find liminal spaces creepy and weird, but that's not the vibe I'm getting here. It's safe. It's just different. So just be prepared. You're entering a new cycle of chakra healing, working on the upper chakras pretty soon. I don't think that's going to be starting this month. I feel like that's more over the summer. We can always read on that later. That maybe it comes up in our June predictions. Let's see. But anyway, yeah, you're just kind of entering. It might feel like a bit of a weird place spiritually. Look at our star card. We have her again. All right, one sec. I get so thirsty doing these readings because I talk, right? It's your reading right now is at like 42 minutes. And so this times 3, basically, with all the piles. My mouth gets dry AF. But yeah, there's our star moving up. Okay, that number 17. But I also am seeing there are 7 stars here. It's like, whew, you guys, this is going to be such a huge, you're going to have such a huge spiritual movement coming soon. But Spirit's telling me that I need to stay focused. So you've just done such amazing work. Like you have, whatever it is that your soul signed up to do when you came here, this was like a section of the curriculum. And like you aced it. You did amazing. You don't have to go back and redo it. There's something that it's amazing. You've just done so well. Like you're not finished school yet, but you are finished this unit and you don't have to retake the test. You got it. You got this. You're ready for the next thing. And with the lower chakras being healed, you will feel like you are safe and secure enough to work through the heart chakra, the throat chakra, you know, and you will have the faith to do it. You know now that you are capable, you're strong, you're confident, you got this. Last message. Knight of Pentacles. It is reversed. I feel it is meant to stay reversed. It's going to be, you'll get used to it, the routine, or there's something about your process changing. It's going to look different, right? We move from Unit 1 to Unit 2. Unit 2 gets a little bit harder and the content of the course or whatever is a little bit maybe more in depth, or there's just more of it. It's going to feel different at first. That's why we're in reverse here, but you will get used to it. And Spirit's just letting you know you're in a transitional state. Think of it as, oh, you know what? You could think of it as, I don't know why school is still coming to mind, but summer break between grade 1 and grade 2, or, you know, summer break in between grades. Enjoy this time. Enjoy the confidence that you have. Enjoy just everything that Spirit has to offer for you, and just enjoy this transitional space. I'm so excited to learn what's next on your path. We will absolutely have to do readings on this, but in the meantime, that's what I have for you. I hope this reading was helpful. Private readings are still open for now. There is a link in the description where you can book with me. And if you liked this video, you know what to do. Like, sub, comment, whatever you want. And if not, totally fine. I'm just glad you were here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again on my channel. All right.